Hello. Good morning, everybody. It's morning here at least. When I say everybody, I mean those two people that are on right now. Let me go let the Discord know that we're going. We're rolling. And um then we'll get started. Okie dokie. Cool. Let me get my head up here. 50% overlay, small. There I am. And then I'll do keycasting 2, so that's all this. For some reason, my Bluetooth is coming out of my piano. Okay. And then, yeah. So, those of you who were on yesterday will know that we finished this guy, right? So basically the whole lobster's sort of not quite done because I'm going to go back and add more detail to these guys because after I did these, I kind of went a little more whole hog with all the details, right? These are a lot more detailed than some of those other ones. And so I'll probably go back and add some more details to these guys. But until I do that, I'll hold off on that because this is pretty time consuming. It's also not necessary that I have like a certain number of creatures for us to launch. So I'll just make the rest of the app work and then I'll go back and make all the creatures towards the end and just get as many in as I can before launch. So and when I do that, I'll add the details to these guys. So I'm still a little bit bothered by the fact that there's some sort of line here. I'll fix that, all that kind of stuff later. So yeah, I feel like these guys look pretty awesome, especially these two, which are pretty similar. I basically just made this guy bigger and also like proportionally thicker, so this guy's kind of chubbier, and then claw is bigger and spikier. Like all this is real spiky, like in here and in here. So what's your app's main use? Habit tracking? More like, yeah, you could say habit tracking. More like resolution keeping, I'd say. Like you resolve to do something or not do something, and then like helping you to stick to it. Which is pretty similar to habit tracking, but I think like subtly different. Cool. So what are we gonna work on today? You might be asking. Well, I'm glad you asked. I want to get some design stuff going. Try to make these look nice. What if you break the streak? Does it reset? Does the creature reset? Is that what you're asking? Because if so, then yes, I think the creature will reset. But unless you pay your penalty. If you pay your penalty, then the creature doesn't reset. Alright, what do I want to... What do I want to do here? So we got those. Oh, I don't think I need all this shadow now. I'm gonna go in and add. Also, yesterday, if you were on, you will know that my computer kept restarting and like crashing, which is weird. I updated Xcode and I'm hoping that'll fix it on a different beta version, but we will find out. I think I was on beta 1, I'm on beta 4, so let's give this a shot. V stack, what is this? Stay street. Yeah, space or H stack. So I want to surround this H stack in a V stack. I don't really want this. Okay, and then I want, actually I want this H stack to be like that. Then underneath this guy, pad can go on that. I'll have another H stack. That'll inside of it have a V stack. That'll say something. It'll say or there's that, and then take some of this. I don't know what this is really gonna look like. I don't know, something like that, and then that. Yeah, something like that, and then I'm going to put a little breathing room in there. That looks pretty good to me. And then basically copy this. Hello, yes, we are coding. Can you believe it? We're not making lobsters anymore. I'm gonna move myself over here to the middle, I guess. I don't know where to go. Okay, these are looking pretty good. Penalty, this will be okay. I can do this. If let Okay, I think I'm back. My computer crashed again, so we gotta figure that out. Looks also like it's frozen. Let me fix that real quick. Let me get this going. There I am. Okay, and then okay. Something fishy's going on. Alright, let me get my base back up here. So it's like when I do a certain amount of like hot module reloading in Xcode, it seems to do it. But I even had this commented out and it still did it. So it's not Rive, which is actually kind of good. Because I think Rive is supposed to be pretty performant and sounds like it is. At least that's not what's causing me grief. This is where you just look for Reddit forums of people complaining about the same thing. Yep, this is me. It's crashed on me many times now, only while using Xcode Beta 4. This is a known bug with previews on the latest beta. Xcode previews users will frequently panic. Yep. This is me. It's a known bug. Also, never use a beta on a productive system. Uh-oh. Better to just roll back now. Xcode previews will frequently panic. On macOS 26, I hope beta 4. Yep. So at least it's a known issue. Can I like roll back to beta 3? I wish I could read what my tabs are called. That's funny. Okay. How does one roll back to beta 3? Because I don't think this is an issue in beta 3. When's Tahoe beta 5? Yeah, that's not. So I go here, I'm on beta 4, I think. So I'm on the dev beta. There's no public beta yet, is there? Oh, is there a public beta? Oh dear. Yeah, they don't really give a if I turn off beta, does it give me an option? Because I'm already kind of ahead, is the thing. Hmm. Ooh, reverting to beta 3 doesn't help. Yeah, it's certainly an interesting choice of regression to release a beta developer beta with. Even using Xcode 16 still causes the same problem? What? Oops. Two weeks with beta 5? That was 6 days ago, so like 1 week? Good grief, what a nightmare. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. System freezes 3 seconds, then crashes and reboots. Preview on my iPhone? What? You can use previews on device? You can preview on a real device? I think the way I have my phone configured, it doesn't let me. I forgot what the simulator is. Yeah, I gotta plug it in with USB. Okay, all my, here, let me try this. Mikai's iPhone. Settings, privacy, and security. Developer mode. I need to restart my phone to turn on developer mode. This is a bit of a nightmare. Okay, now my phone's in developer mode. It's starting. Okay. Now I'm gonna plug it back in. Preparing Mikai's iPhone. There is actually a loading indicator here, believe it or not. You can barely see it. Copying shared cache symbols. Whatever that means. I'm pretty sure I got this far last time and then it broke. Didn't work. Oh, my thing's not plugged in. Well, if we can't get if we can't get this to work, there is some other stuff I can work on. Yeah. Forestry red set completed. If we go back to okay, we don't need to ride right now. Remember this. So we were gonna do this. And so the lobsters were like part of this. Don't really need these anymore, I suppose. Oh, I decided not to use that, right? Oops. Swift UI. That work? Take screenshot? Does that actually work? Check it out. It did work. I took a screenshot. So switch to Micaiah's iPhone. What if I build this now? Build failed. Requires a development team. Oh. Selection on the devices for who have I managed to configure it? Yeah, that's not my phone is configured. Shucks. So it like almost works. Which means I probably can't do previews on there either, right? Oh, down here. Will this work? I think this is a configuration thing again. Okay. Alternatively, unplug this. I can plug my keyboard back in. Alternatively, there are Xcode. There's other versions of Xcode out there. So this is the stable version of Xcode. I just don't know if I can run this with... Yeah, I can't do this with... Oh, 26, check it out. What happens if I try to run one of these in preview? Yeah, can't do it. Try again. Trying to get me to download. Yeah, okay, so I can't do it. This version of Xcode. So I need to use Xcode beta. But the Xcode beta crashes on this version of macOS. So the moral of the story is we're hosed. I can't do anything with Xcode for like a week now. In theory, that's when they're coming out with beta 5. Stable release. So beta 4 is the public beta. So this is the public beta, but when I really want beta 5. Okay. Well, alright, so this means not this. This is lovely. Not these secret stripe keys that I now have to go rotate because I just showed them to you. Note to self, don't leave .env files open. One sec, gotta go rotate these keys. Let me turn off key casting for a second here. Oh, it's already on, okay. Rotate. Okay, and let me go swap it out. Delete that one. Delete that one. And go over and swap out the environment variable. Environment variables. Edit this. Okay, save that. And redeploy. I don't think that actually redeployed. Let's go in here and manually redeploy. Boom, okay. That should do the trick. And then I go to Z. Should be able to do this. Okay. So the question arises. Well, let me open up Z here. Not that project, but resolve. So I can't really do SwiftUI stuff. I mean, I could, but I just can't even see previews and stuff, so I won't be able to, it's like working blind. So the question is, what else can we work on? What's my Git status? Let me say, oh, by the way, how much of what I did it save? Ooh, this thing's formatted though works better. I like that. Format. Okay. Let's save these. Okay. Let's get into these activities. Alright, but we're not gonna be able to do any of this stuff. So this is the actual app. So we can work in the API. I'm gonna send a text. We shot a video explaining the product, but we need to edit it still. So let's look at our little diagram here. So we can't work on, basically that means we can't work on anything over here, right? So we're left with either working on the back end or fen, right? I haven't really explained what fen is yet, but fen is a little bit more of a self-contained piece of work. So I gotta write back to this text. Okay, so fen is like how this thing talks with this thing. On the back end, is the back end. I could work on the back end. The only thing is I don't know if I want to work on. Well, I could work on the back end, I guess. Because we have a pretty clear idea of like what all we need to be able to do from all these, right? So I could literally just start making routes. Oh, but I don't really want to make routes until I have fen, right? True. So I feel like fen would be the logical next thing to work on since I can't work on any of this. It'll also be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to working on fen. So let's do fen. So we will need that at some point. So here's for the 4 viewers that are not chatting at all. Here's what fen is. Okay, so basically the front end is written in Swift, back end is written in Rust, right? Swift and Rust are not compatible. Okay, so we need to make something that I want this to be totally type safe, right, between the two things, right? And so I think I'm going to use what I call fen, which is basically like my own little schema definition language that then generates types on the front end and the back end with like a little CLI, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I guess I'll do that. It'll probably be in a separate, I think I already have, okay, so look, fen, here's fen, because I've already actually done some of this. Do I have like new fen? The new fen, because I started rewriting fen. Like what's in the new fen? How far did I get with this thing? What a Lexer. I didn't get super far. I think I just got to where I was partially parsing it. But it's actually really easy to parse. I think I'll probably just start again from scratch. After I get a drink of water. Okay. I think I have a changelog too, actually. Because I've actually done a decent chunk of work on this. So, whoa, I do not have all of this. So if I go down here, I think I have it installed. Okay. Okay, this is fen 0.5.3. Which is, so 0.6 will be the total rewrite. Because it's actually something you can already install. I have like a repo for it and everything. But I don't want to keep going with this rewrite because I think I learned a lot about like lexing and parsing and stuff from working on Lovely, so I think I can do it better and faster now. Oh, here's like a fen file. Oh, cool. This is very nice. Yeah, I'll probably just keep the same syntax. The syntax was pretty good. And then I even have like a, yeah, this will be good. So I think I'll just keep all this, except for this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Yeah, this is good. Okay, and then I will. Okay, because this has all the data history in it too, which is nice. I'm going to get, or so I'm going to say cargo in it. Boom. Yeah, this should be good. And then, so this is already where I started the total rewrite. I'm going to get from scratch for resolve. Cool. So I will have a CLI of sorts. But first, I guess I'll just make a lexer, right? So we've done this before. I need to tokenize this sort of syntax. So here's the idea, right? You got a name. So this is like the name of your route. Each of these fen files represents a route, right? So you got the name of your route. You have a description for your route, right? This turns into like a dot comment. We'd be doing something similar to Protobuff and gRPC. Yes, it'll use JSON though under the hood, just because that's pretty simple to work with. And then whether or not it's an authenticated route, right? So if it's auth, then it'll require like an authentication token. And then you say like, here's the input this route requires, right? And so you have to pass it like a, for example, this is like login, right? So it takes the user, username, I guess makes more sense. Username and a password. The output is a session token, which is another type. So down after this other divider, you can make like any types definitions you want, right? Struct. So like product types are written with squirrelies, and then enum, some types are represented with parentheses, right? So here's like session token. It's has an ID and expires at UID and date, which are built-in types in fen, and then so you can reference these things over here. And then failures is is an enum, right? Failures is always an enum. So these are any of the errors, right? So user not found, invalid password, database error, like all this kind of stuff. So this is like a perfect example of what Fen could look like. I'm gonna change the README to say username too, because that makes more sense. Oh, it's already suggesting that for me. Very nice. All right, so I'm going to what does Protobuff actually do? Is my question. Where's my browser? Where's my browser? Protobuff. Protocol buffers. Yeah, language neutral commercial extensible mechanism for serializing. Yeah. It's basically that idea. What's that cat and proto? This thing's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's basically kind of like one of these, but not. So let's make a Lexer. Oh, by the way, the cargo lock. I'm gonna open up the old Fen and whoa, we have all these things going, right? And CLI. Yeah, okay. That's good. Now if I cargo install dash path dot. This is hello world, perfect, okay. I'm going to add something over here in the Lexer. Okay, so I'm gonna say like struct Lexer. It'll have a var like text. I don't know what. And then I kind of just want to copy what we did for Lovely. If you're unaware of what Lovely is the programming language I've been working on for a little while now. Okay, like what does our Lexer do? Okay, contents. Oh, we used that, didn't we? Okay, it's because we needed like nice errors. I don't really need super nice errors for this. Interesting. Why in the world do we do all this? Okay, that's a good bit more complicated. Let me just do it simpler. This doesn't need to be as robust as a programming language, as you might imagine. There's all that. And then do all that. Okay, and then text string, and then I'll have, okay, so I need some sort of like tokens, right? So tokens.rs. Yeah, I guess a token can be any number of things. Like here's like a fen file, right? For example. Yeah, what is a token? I guess we have like at, we have colon, we have string literal, which we only use in the description field actually, which is interesting. Bool literal. This actually holds onto a string. This holds onto a bool. White space is not a token, but there's dividers. So these are like syntax things. We have left paren, right paren, left, no, not white space. Left brace. Right brace. We will have brackets actually because there's array types. We already got at. Okay, commas, right? Might be all the syntax stuff. Identifier, it kind of like can be anything, right? It could be like these. I think everything else is just an identifier. Well, okay, I guess it depends how far we go with these types, right? I guess these would be identifiers. There's only a few kinds of types, right? There's like, I think there's string, int, float, bool, string, int, float, bool, and then there's like array types, there's optional type, string, int, float. What do we do over here? Tokens? Tokens. Oh, dates and UUIDs. Oh yeah, there's question marks. Question mark. And then there's end of file. These are like literals, and then there's like types. We have types. Okay, so we'll have string, int. I don't know if it makes sense to make these separate in the string, int, float. No, I'm just gonna call those identifiers. Alright, so these are my tokens. I guess identifiers aren't really literals. So let's call this other. I'll just make another spot for it. Alright, those are tokens. The idea also is that Fen could then be used like if we make a Kotlin Android version, if we make a web version with TypeScript, like for any language. But you just have to make like adapters for it. Alright, so there's tokens. So this Lex. Why is this not working? Okay. Oh, I kind of like making it impl iterator. Wait, how do you do that? Yeah. So then next needs to, yeah, I guess just, so I'll have like a position. And then I will implement Lexer logic here. Yeah, I guess we need to match on. I'll say like we have a char. I guess we match on the cur char. Right? I'll say like, okay. And then I will say if it is a yeah, I guess like if it's that, then let's just write a test for this real quick. I guess makes the most sense, right? now we have vec tokens, and then do that. Token. Do all that. And then I'm gonna run some tests over here. You guys do perfect. Okay, but I actually want this to be like all of that. Lovely. So here's our test case. We're expecting all these tokens from there. These are not in the right order. Okay. And then, yeah, let's go up here. So if we get one of these, then we're just gonna say like, Actually, can I just wrap this in like a sum? And then this should just be token left brace. Come on, keyboard. Okay. And then obviously if we get any of these, we get those, right? And so we'll run our test now. The keyboard's not behaving very well. Looks like it's stuck in an infinite loop because it just keeps running. Hold on, this keyboard needs to be. Okay. Carcass. It is running forever. How fun. Why? Next. Oh. Why is this not working? It's like it's never even calling this. Oh, it's not showing like any. It's not showing any output from these. Dash no capture. Wait. Ooh, groovy. Oh, it's because we're never advancing. Oh, no, it worked. Okay, cool. Cool. We never advanced. I'm gonna make a little. I guess there's not really much point, but it's cool. Let's do that down here. Switch that self on advance. Cool. More explicit. So I'm gonna be doing a lot of these tests probably, so I'm gonna put a little helper. Assert tokens Yeah, it's basically that, right? And then in here, I'm gonna replace all this with assert tokens. Like all these. Get rid of all this. Put that in there. Rerun the test. Cool. Cool. Okay. Let's test some bigger things, I guess. I'll do like multi-car tokens. How did I just fold that? Fold ZF. By the way, why is this not? ZC. Ooh. Unfold. Z Shift R. Alright, where was I? This is with multi-char tokens. I want to test like that or something. I want like token brace R. So it's a bracket. Kind of like that. Sorted jam. Right now we're getting a to do. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So if it's any valid sorry, not where. See if or underscore, right? Letters are underscore. Then this is not the correct way to do this, because then we'd get FOO. See? Also, this is the kind of thing where you want to pull on like pretty assertions. Okay, that's cool. So in here I'm going to use and then we get these pretty things, right? Like that. Okay. So we need to like loop through this. How are we gonna do that? Let hey Air Hogan slash lane it was, right? Is that right? Lane? Yeah, lane, okay. Okay, this worked. I don't like how just Copilot kind of wrote the whole thing for me. Oops, wrong account. Ooh, back on the different account. Nice. The first one needs to be alphabet. Okay, if it's alphanumeric, perfect. And then, yeah, okay, that's good. So then we can get those kinds of things. Let's add some more. So I want to test also like, if we have that, we get to do, if we get, we're gonna something very similar to this, right? Except for not. So if we have, these are like single char tokens. Here we have, stop it. And I want to do string literals, so string yeah, that kind of thing. That did not work because for some reason we're expecting foo. I don't need these double quotes. Wait, what? Identify alarm or something. Alphabetic, what? Oh, there's no left bracket. Oh, what are you saying? It's supposed to be token. Okay, hold on. I like this a little better. There we go. Okay, now it's working. Okay. There's that. And then, hey William, how are you all doing today? Was a bit busy. No worries. Doing well. How are you? Okay. I want to, yeah, what's next? What else do we have? We have, okay, there's like, oh wait, yeah. There should be like, literal. Okay. I just realized that I'm not casting my keystrokes. Sadly, we should go down here. This can be closed. Good. Is that the website we're working on now? Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see the name. This is not the website. This is, I don't know if you remember this. The Fen triangle here. This is what we're working on. So basically it's like you're remaking Protobuff basically, not really, but it's my backend's in Swift. My backend's in Rust. My front end's in Swift. My front end might also later on be in Kotlin. It might also later on be in TypeScript, like depending on what platforms I go to, you know? And so I want to be able to have type safety across that boundary. And so this is like a simple schema definition language that I'm working on. I've done this before a little bit. I'm sort of like rewriting it to make it a little better, using some of the stuff I've learned from working on Lovely and stuff. So shouldn't be a huge task, but it's pretty fun. So like, for example, this would be like a login route. So you like name and description, whether or not it's an authenticated route, right? And then like the input, the output, and the possible failure cases, right? Where like these are enums with parens and structs. These, you can reference other types that you define in this bottom section here, and then you can have comments. It's pretty simple. Interesting. What's the font I'm using? This is called Maple Mono, I think. Somebody on stream actually recommended it to me once, and I love it. It's super good. Maple Mono font. Maple Mono. Yep, Maple Mono. It's this. I'll put the link over here. Joink. Okay. So you've made this before. Yes, I have made this before. That's like, if you go over here, there's like a changelog. I'm currently on Swift because I was working on another app and I ended up using the same system. I got up to 0.5.3. This can be 0.6.0 is this big rewrite and sort of like overhaul some concepts, but you've been using JetBrains Mono Mona Lisa recently. I was using Mona Lisa. Wait, no. Is that what I was using? Mona Lisa. No, what's the GitHub one? Is it Mona Lisa? No, Monaspace. That's what I was using for a while. Why won't this load? This is loading. Is the internet just kind of slow? No. Mona space. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was using this one for a while, and then I switched over to this one's really good. It's like 5 different fonts actually. And then I switched over to the Maple Mono, which I really enjoy. Monaspace. Yeah. Alright, anyway, where was I? So I got string literals, idents. What was I testing now? For the true false. Oh yeah, so that should fail. Lovely. Courier new and Consolas. I haven't used either of those. Cool. Hey Lane, I got a Kotlin question. Does Kotlin have good enums? Does Kotlin have good enums? Kotlin enums. Enum classes? It's an enum class. Enums, but also sealed classes, which are so wonderful. What's a sealed class? Kotlin sealed class. Keyboard just did it. Sealed classes? Is it like an enum? Sealed interface, sealed class. enum on crack. Gotcha. This is interesting. All right, well, that'll be fun to learn once we go over to Android. Just wondering because this is probably this whole fem thing I'm working on. It kind of makes heavy use of like enums and structs, like sum and product types. With some types being these friends, and then product types being the squirrelies. And you can like define your own enum down here, like that, and say like whatever. So I'm just hoping that'll like translate well over into Kotlin as well as it does in like Rust and Swift. So an enum that you can stuff values in and have exhaustive switching based on inheritance. Like, you know, at all times what every subclass of a parent class is because it's exhaustive. Gotcha. Like, sounds like sort of what Rust has, except for more object-oriented, perhaps. For what I've seen of Kotlin, it seems to be pretty heavily object-oriented. Is that accurate? Probably because it kind of is related to Java. All right, these things. So basically, in here, identifier. Okay. Yeah, identifier match on the identifier. If it's other, then we're gonna do this. Showing, okay. But if we have true, like that. This is not okay. That's even less okay. That's better. That's fine. You think it's equally oop and functional? Oh, cool. Does extension functions better than Swift? Really? Because I love that feature in Swift. And how does it do it? How does it do it? How does it do it? Why does my browser keep shrinking down to that awkward shape? Kotlin extension functions. Extensions. Whoa. Okay, syntactically, this actually makes a ton of sense. And then you can stick generics in here too, right? What? Okay, so basically you'd have this. What is it, KT? Surely there's like a Kotlin language support. Install. Is it installing? Hello. There we go. Now it's installed. I'm not getting much. Oh, it says indexing. There we go. Failed to run Kotlin LSP. I'm probably missing like a bunch of other stuff I need. But yeah, this is super cool. So like that's like the equivalent of in Rust, it'd be like extend, or no, extension, right? Mutable list right? And then you'd have like yada 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 yada. Right, or in Rust you'd have impl, or it'd actually be this, it'd be impl. What would it be? It'd be like something like that. I don't actually know what it'd be in Rust. I'd have to check that out. But this is, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like how that looks, how it reads. It actually makes a ton of sense. Oh, can you do function overloading? Also, there's no named arguments, are there? I do like named arguments. That's why Lovely has named arguments. That's a little bit sad. Seems like I got some other cool things. Yes, you can do function overloading. That's cool. Oh, named arguments do exist? Oh, sounds like it does all the good things. Kotlin named arguments. Named arguments. Oh, like this. Not internal and external like Swift, yeah. Okay. That's still pretty cool. Not quite as cool as Swift for that feature. I feel like the way Swift, like Swift named arguments plus function overloading is like super cool. The way that those kind of work and play together is really neat. I'm a big fan. I stole it verbatim and use it in Lovely. We have the same feature, so. This would be like a trailing lambda, right? Is that what they call them, trailing lambdas? Swift has those. They call them trailing closures. Discussing language. Yeah, we are discussing languages. Trailing lambda. Gotcha. That's cool. Can you do custom operators? Operator overloading. Sounds like it. Operator. Wait, what does this even mean? But you can overload operators for your own custom types. Oh, that's really cool. This is super cool. So like minus a negative point just negates the two things. That's actually really, really neat. Very neat. But these aren't really custom operators. These are just like overloading the built-in ones. Kotlin custom operators. Find a new operator. Oh, you can't define new operators. But there's a predefined set and then you can overload them. That's kind of the idea. Interesting. All right, anyway, back to Fen here. I feel like William Olios is a certified Kotlin hater. William is just a skeptic when it comes to languages that he's not familiar with. I've noticed he's very skeptic of Rust. They're a bunch of Rust lovers, and now he's skeptic of Kotlin. So, all right. Where were we? So we got. Wait, what's failing? Is it still failing? Oh yeah, true. Because I need false. Wait, what is, huh? Oh, I'm not dealing with white space yet. That's why. I need to skip over white space. Skip white. Right? If it is white space, advance. Perfect. Okay. Anytime there's advance, I'm just gonna say self dot skip white space. And then it works. Lovely. William confirms that he doesn't like Kotlin. William, is there any language you do like except for C? Because I can tell you that I don't like C. Unpopular opinion. Alright, what else? Oh, we also have, like, there's dividers. Token divider. Got a to do. Okay, so we'll check. Oh, that wouldn't be in there. If we have a, no, this isn't right. Now I get to do divider, right? Yeah, okay. How are we gonna do this? Okay, so what am I doing over here? No, it's not is negative, you silly. I guess this thing can error, right? What if there's illegal tokens? I guess an enum, right? This kind of thing. I don't know why I did that. This is supposed to be here. this needs to be. I wonder if instead I could. Okay, so maybe don't have an error. This really should error, shouldn't it? What does my Lexer do? Oh, I guess I could stick errors in here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so come back, come back, come back, come back. Ta-da. Okay, do that. And then I literally do the same thing again, right? Oh wait, this isn't the right logic. Actually, yeah, it is. Okay. Oh wait. Can I do this? Why do I have that? I'm doing the total wrong thing here. Hmm. I think here's a feature everyone can get around in Kotlin, null safety. What does null safety look like in Kotlin? Like, is it like an option type? Like this? By the way, is this big enough for you guys? Can you read this? What was I gonna do? You add question to the end of the type and it means it can be nullable. That's exactly like Swift, except for it's called nil. Like if I had foo int, oops, then foo int is like a option int or whatever. I think it's called optional in Swift. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty good. But I'm also like, I would never use a language that doesn't have that, and I never have used a language that doesn't have that, except for JavaScript. But so I haven't felt a ton of the pain without that, but I definitely love it. Most modern languages do, yeah, for sure. Lovely definitely will. What are NPEs? Alright, wait, if I get rid of this test case, is it everything passing still? Because that's kind of changed a lot. Okay, good. And then this should give me a to-do. Yeah. Null pointer exceptions? Oh, okay. Okay. Set by 1. Oh. William, as far as I know, they're basically like options. There's some like semantic and syntactic things that make them different. Like in Rust, for example, you always have to really, yeah, it's mostly syntactical, exactly. The concept is the same. Like in Rust, you always have to be really explicit about, like if I want to return something that has to return an option, I have to explicitly return wrap it in sum like this. Whereas like in Swift, and I'm assuming with Kotlin, you don't. You can just return whatever the value is you're trying to return. And then like implicitly kind of wraps that in an optional. Yeah, basically better looking options. So like whereas you either have like 89 or like null, or in Swift it's nil. And then in Rust you'd have 89, or you'd have some 89 or none. So it just like looks different like that. But you still have the same type safety around it. At least this is my understanding. I think it's correct. Hey, Kara. And then you have to unwrap it in Rust too, don't you? Yeah, 100%. You always have to like this is what I'm doing right here. Like next char, if I didn't do this like some pattern match thing here, like what I'm getting out of here is an option of a char, right? And so if I say like let next char equal whatever, then yeah, I have to unwrap it. Are there guards in Kotlin? Because like in Swift this would be like if let, or no, this actually would be a guard let. This would be like guard let in Swift. But then there's also if let, which is, these are like, the one is like the inside out version of the other. Are there equivalents in Kotlin? Because these are kind of killer features in my opinion, guard let and if let. Not guard like in Swift, but we have Elvis operator. Oh yeah, the Elvis operator. I forgot about the Elvis operator. Wait, is it this? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was this. Because then it actually kind of looks like Elvis, right? Wait, what does the Elvis operator do? I forget. I remember reading about that. Alright. So this is like following. Wait, if X is null, then Y? Isn't that the same as like this in other languages? Like the nullish coalescing operator? Is that the same as Elvis? Except you can do anything with it, really? Shorthand for ternary? Well, it's a little different from ternary, isn't it? I think it'd be like nullish coalescing, right? Because Swift has that. TypeScript has this. Or I guess in TypeScript it's called nullish, because it does undefined too. But in Swift it's just called nil coalescing. Nil coalescing. Kinda, it's like a shorthand for ternary operators, but only for nullish checking. Ternary doesn't exist in Kotlin, unfortunately. I don't know if that is unfortunate. I think there's a lot of people that really don't think it's a good language feature. But there's other people who like will die for it. So it does get super messy if you're doing like a ton of like nested, like it gets pretty ugly pretty fast. Dart uses question for null coalescing. Okay, yeah, and Swift uses question too. I think this should work. I'm not. It actually did work. That's actually kind of surprising. All right, what else do we have syntactically that we need to check on? Oh, these things. I wonder if these should just be I wonder if these should be. Okay, here's what I want to do. I want to switch this to unfinished token, and this just takes a token. Not toke, but token. Because then I can go over here to tokens. I'm going to add another one. I don't know what to call these. These are like IO labels, I guess. I don't know. Wait, labels? Well, there's also, oh, this is kind of cool actually. There's also these labels, which I don't know if we should. Yeah, we'll make them their own thing. IO. Although, let's be like. Do this. Conlines allows inline ifs and whens. Oh, cool. So like if as expression, right? IO labels. There's three of them, right? Is that input or output or failure? This needs to be pub. Okay, and then so if we see an at, oh, what's the pattern matching story in Kotlin? It's probably not in here, but like control flow. When expressions. Okay, so when is like a match or a switch in other languages? Can you do more powerful things though? Oh yeah. Oh, you can have it not have a subject? That's really actually quite interesting. When without a subject. And then you just put arbitrary things in here. That reads really nice too. When A is bigger than B, do that. When A is less than B, do that. Else do that. Ooh, you can do multiple cases. arbitrary expressions, ranges, in. Is in some keyword that checks when seems like a little less intuitive. Are you reading this, William? Look, when x in 1 to 10, print x is in the range. When x in valid numbers, print that. When x is not in 10 to 20, print that. Else do that. I feel like that's pretty intuitive, but that's actually really, really cool. You can check the type. Uh-oh, I'm not a fan of any types. When x is string. You think the dot dot thing is pretty cool? Well, the dot dot thing is in, this is in Rust, this is in Swift, this is in lots of languages. But more like the syntax I feel like is really nice. I'm so pumped to start learning Kotlin. Lane got me all excited. Name doesn't feel the best. All right, so this thing. So now we need to start. It's kind of going to be like this, right? Here. Except instead of this should be new. Label next char. This is good, except for this should be shouldn't the second call to char offset take 2 and not? Yes. Thank you so much. Good catch. I'll write a better test for that in a second. Are those dash these? No, these aren't comments. These are actually like part of the syntax. Like these divide, there's like 3 sections. There's like metadata, IO labels, and then like helper types. We don't need that actually anymore. All right, then here we basically just want to check on all this. So if it's input, output, or all right, thanks, sure. Failures. Others I get to do, I guess. This would be a token IO label. Input. Kind of yoink this. Yoink this. And then here. I don't know which one, doesn't really matter. Cool. You may notice that there's nice syntax highlighting in this file. That's because a while ago I actually made a Z extension for it. So, okay. Nice. There's that. Let me see if that actually works. First of all, I want to those should all work. That should be IO label. Yoink that again. Wow. That works. Does this work? What was that thing that just opened? Oh, add MCP server. That's not what I want. I still don't understand what an MCP server is. Alright, that first divider is just like doing something horrible. Oh, nice. Okay. So this is all working now. What else have we? I kind of want to try like the whole simple. Like an example with all the syntax. Gonna pick up a new keyword real quick, be right back. Ooh, awesome. I'd love to know what it is. These are comma separated? Is that right? Got commas on these things? Nah, we don't want commas on these things. Which means that there's no commas. There's no such thing as a comma. We don't like commas. What is Tableau? Add my son to the list of failures. Okay. Okay, this will suffice. First. All right. So then, what are the tokens here? We'll have like a token. That fast. Check it out. Okay, Luxor's working. Cool. What else? I guess we parse now. So first, it's time for a water break. Okay, I'm also gonna get my yoga ball. Much better. Okay, so yeah. Sorry. I forgot to put. I have a sign that I put on my door when I'm streaming, and I forgot to put it there, and so my sister walked in. But okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, we're gonna parse this bad boy. I'm gonna make a new file called parser.rs, and I'm going to in main. I'm gonna make a mod parser, and then go to parser, instruct parser. How does a parser work? We'll pass it like that. It's counted as that. And then what else does a parser do? Yeah, I guess it just parses, right? Oh, it makes an AST. So we need to make like an AST. Oh, this is always fun. I like making ASTs. So how do we represent this as an AST, right? So it's like a file. So a fen file, I guess they're called like routes, right? A route has 3 sections. It has the metadata. Wait, is this not allowed? Did I say that, William? I think you made that up. I don't think I said that. Meta, IO, and helper types. Yeah, which is basically an array of it's kind of like a hash map, really. of like string to. Why do you not think this file is included anywhere? Oh, because it's not. What do you mean? Restart the LSP. Okay, you happy yet? Okay, much better. So now, okay, I might have shifted the words a bit. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I may be pretty dumb, but not quite that dumb. Okay. So route does all these things. Alright, and the metadata is kind of like, it has a name, always. Is a description is optional. You don't have to describe your routes. And then auth is always there. It's a bool. Actually, it doesn't always have to be there, but if it's not there, then it'll be false. So, actually, it'll always have to be there. I think that'll be better, maybe. Alright, and then we have like IO labels. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't have to have any of them, right? Input. Type. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Sorry, string to type. What is a type? What is a type, you may be asking? It's probably going to be an enum, actually, not that. But for now, we'll just make it that. Hash map. What do you mean there's no such thing as hash map? Standard collections. Okay. Pull that in, and then what? What do we do from there? Oh yeah, input. These are kind of all the same, right? Output, failures. An idiot imagines how smart he is, a genius knows how dumb he is. Me just now. As you quote yourself in a public forum. Nah, I'm just kidding. You're a smart guy. Metadata IO helper text. Okay. Struct helper. No, we already have that. Okay. So like type, what is a type? It's like it's definitely not a struct, it's an enum, right? This can be this can be string. It can be int, it can be float, it can be bool, it can be it could be an array of types. We need to have some indirection here. It could be an optional. It could be What is box? A box is like it's like a pointer. It's like a smart pointer. Like a heap allocates something, right? And so I can't just have a this, because then it doesn't know what type. This has like infinite size, right? So it can't like know where to store it, how to store it. But if we just turn this into a pointer, then it heap allocates that, and then we can know the size of this thing. Oh, Xavier's here. Hey, Xavier. All right, what else can it be? It can also just be like a pointer that owns what it points to. Exactly. Okay, it can also just be like an enum definition, right? Struct def. which holds onto an array of struct fields. It just has like a name and a type. Oh yeah, UUID and date. Thank you, Dune. Yeah, UUID, date, because those are common ones. You said because it's on the example. Oh yeah, my bad. And it would make sense. Could be an unsigned int. I think I'm just gonna do one int type because at the end of the day, this is gonna be like kind of language agnostic, sort of, as long as you write the adapter, right? So this needs to like be simple enough to literally work in TypeScript, right? TypeScript just has a number type. It doesn't even have int and float. So both of these are just gonna come out being numbers in TypeScript. So I think I'm gonna do unsigned stuff. But yeah, we'll use UID and date because those are common like database-y things. Date is a date time. But when date is just gonna be like, yeah, it's gonna be a date time, like a date and a time. Is that what you mean? Struct def, or it can be enum def, which is just a vec of enum variants. Now, what you ask is an enum variant. Enum variant has a name and an associated type, which is an optional type, right? Because not every variant has an associated type. For example, these ones don't, but they can, right? If you look over at our these, like this is an associated type in an enum. So fun stuff. Alright, so this should be enough to allow for arbitrary complexity, which is my middle name. Hey, Robin. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you on here. Robin's waves are always a high point for me. Alright, what's next? What's next? What's next? What is next? Oh yeah, the parser. So we made the ST so we can make parser, which means all these things need to be like pub, 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 pub. All right, and then back over here in the parser. The parser. Okay, what does the parser hold on to? I don't know yet. But definitely is gonna have like a parse function that probably is gonna mutate self and return a self. Self? No, not a self. What am I thinking? It's gonna return a route. Okay, very nice. And then we'll to do that away. Here's another one. Yes, I got 2 waves. Okay. So this is probably gonna have to hold on to some tokens, right? So this will be like a vec of tokens. And then over here, we're gonna say like let lexer equal lexer. So disappointing. I'm so disappointed. My lexer is not even public. Pub. Ta-da. Alright. Now I can say let lexer equal lexer new. New is private. What are you talking about? Of course it's public. And we'll pass it the source. Mismatch type. Alright, Who made this? Who made this function? Who made this function? They're fired. Stir. Alright. What? What? What do you mean you expected it? You don't. What? Does this stir? This takes a stir. You're hallucinating. I'm telling you. How to restart the restart? Then Command Shift L. Command Shift L. Take that. Maybe add a map type can be useful. True, could be useful. Map type. What would I use a map type for? Yeah, that could be useful. Wait, what do you, what? A map could be useful. Yes, I will, if it becomes useful, if it becomes needed, I will add it. But it seems like maybe a bit of an obscure. If the function clone the argument stir, better make it take a value. That maybe is a good take, actually. You mean this new function? Like take a string, take a value. If it's going to clone it anyway, you might as well just take the real thing. And then here, just do it. I mean, obviously it has to happen somewhere. But you might as well do it there, I guess. I don't know. Okay, and then self, so Lexer dot collect tokens. Okay, very nice, very nice. Parse. Okay, parse. What does a parser do? What does a parser do? Oh yes, a parser parses. I remember, William. A parser parses. What does that even mean? I guess we like loop through the tokens, see what they are. We're gonna have some sort of like expect token. Okay. Same thing applies to parser constructor. Oh yeah. Truth. The only thing is that it makes it slightly less like robust at the call site, but I'm not, I guess, too worried because there's really only going to be one call site. So, but yeah, exactly. Not a big deal, just detail. No, I agree. I think I generally agree. It just depends. Yeah, I guess what your priorities are, but it makes sense. Okay, parse. I always have a hard time starting these things. Like, where do you begin with parsing? Luckily, this will be a really simple parser because we don't need to like parse expressions or anything because there's no such thing as an expression. It's just types and more types and more types. Okay. So I need to build a let mut route equal route. I am missing some fields. Meta. Okay, let's do this better. Let meta. Okay, so I guess I'll just have a function here that's like parse metadata mut self route. No. Metadata. I feel like metadata shouldn't be, oh dear. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. I'm not sure what I was thinking here. All right. We need to make some of this metadata, right? So we're gonna have to have some sort of like current position, which is like a size, I guess, something like that. We will start that off at 0, and what else? Oh. What just happened? What does this even mean? How is this even legal? Some macro magic? Alright. Anyway, well, we'll do... Okay, so we need to, like... I guess technically these could be in any order. Well, not necessarily. Name should probably go first, right? I don't know. Let's do some tests. Function what? Metadata. Parses metadata. Yada yada yada. If I cargo test, everything's still passing. Perfect. I'm gonna say let parser equal parser. I need to parser new from, oh no, I'm gonna make a little, okay, function test ast, or I guess expect ast, which takes in a source, which will be a stir, so we can not have to use dot to string, and then we'll have an ast, which will be a route. I guess expect route maybe is better. And then yeah, let parser, oh dear, let parser equal parser new from source dot to string, and then what? Let route equal parser dot parse, which makes this after we mut. Now we have a route. Okay, and then we assert eq route with AST. And then we realize that we've been slacking off. Derive, partial, eq, clone, all the good things. What else do we usually want? Debug. Now we get all sorts of errors because we need this on all of our other types. Very nice. Okay. And then here I can just say like expect route give it some sort of shenanigans over here. Just came back. Where we gotta go. Okay, welcome back. Name. Sorry, so test description. Just a test. Auth true. And then we expect a route with all these things like IO. Oh, I guess we have to have some IO. Okay. I think this should be legal. Yeah, I think that should be legal. IO. What is it? IO labels. Input. What does that be at? Oh, none. Haha. None. What is helper types? Field is private. What are you talking about? Tell me these all need to be public. Joink, joink, joink. Okay. Alright, now these are all wait, what's going on? We've got to change the stream title. No, the stream title is good. Building an app from scratch, day 8. This is for the app. Believe it or not. We're just, making our own little schema definition language for cross-language type safety. Like you do. Hash map needs to be imported. Alright, meta. Now here's where it gets interesting. So metadata. I guess we need to. So the name then would be test then. And the description is just a test. And then auth is true. What do you mean? Oh, some. Okay. Very nice. Why does the app need a parser? Good question. It doesn't exactly need a parser. We could use something like Protobuff, or Captain Proto, or gRPC. But why would you use what Netflix uses when you can make your own? Everything needs parsers, plural. Exactly, Robin. Robin gets it. Ew, not what Netflix uses, I know, right? Okay, so now this should fail miserably. I'm not sure why. Not yet implemented. Just hitting one of these to-dos probably. Probably this one right here. The one that says parse to do. Okay. So I'm gonna say, check this out. I'm gonna say let metadata equal parse self.parse metadata. And now we have metadata. How nice is that? Okay. What is this gonna do? It's going to oh, why would we collect our tokens when we could just hold on to an iterator? Ha. So much smarter. Get rid of that. Alright, now we can just do this. Check it out. let lexer, no, equal lexer self dot lexer dot next. I think that returns an optional. All right. I'm gonna make like a expect token. You know, we could disallow comments. That would save me some time. All right, guys, new feature, no comments. Actually, that's probably not a good idea. Come back comments. We'll let you do comments. Expect token. Token. Oh, we need. Yeah, we do. Actually, we need myself. Token. And then we don't even need to keep track of this current position because we just have like a lexer that we're iterating through and it has a position. We'd be like fancy. Okay, token. Parsing DNA is so easy. Yeah, I do it all the time. How about you guys? New feature just dropped. Token. Guys, you may notice I'm making this Fen thing in like its own repo, right? This isn't affiliated in any way with Resolve. So you guys can use this in your own projects, and I will use this in the future in some other projects. So sometimes you can find bugs in my DNA and fix it myself. Me too. And sometimes I find bugs in my DNA and I don't fix it. And then that's where all my problems come from. All right. Token. Yeah, it's a token. Obviously. Well, okay. There's actually kind of a few different kinds of this. Like, for example, the one I want right now is actually expect ident. Stir. Name is a stir. And I'm gonna say, let token equal self dot lexer dot next. Ta-da! Your disperse is your parser. Okay, so now we have a token. We've got a token. Actually, it's an optional token. Some token. Sorry, it's supposed to be an else. Something horrible will happen in there. Okay, and then now we have a token. Token. Okay, actually, I want to say like token. Identifier. Name. I have a name. I wish you could do like this. Name equals name right here. Like, wouldn't that be cool? But you can't. It's impossible. All right. To my knowledge, it's impossible. We have name. These have the same name. Name and name are both the names. So this is getting confusing very fast. This will be the token name. This is like the expected name. And then we're gonna say like if expected name equals the token name. What is this? TypeScript? Look at that. Okay. Token name. Then we will be happy. Oops. By the way, this returns a token. Actually, it doesn't. I lied. But what do you know what it does do? It returns a result. Of nothing. Or an error. Now, what is this error, you may be asking? That's a good question. Else. To-do. Oh dear. To-do. Error. Yeah, okay, this error. We need to make an error. Strut, no, enum. What am I thinking? Error. expected ident. Oh, you know what? I'm going about this whole thing wrong here. This should actually return the name. Expected name. Expected name is a horrible concept. We don't need this. This should return a string. We have the token name. Token name. And then we can do error. Expected ident. How about that? Yeah, Rust's public verbosity is sometimes a pain. But something we need to live with. But yeah, definitely people complain about that a good bit. Or at least I do. Maybe other people don't complain as much about their language. They just kind of live with it. Yeah. There's something nice about everything being private by default because then you have to be explicit. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. And I generally don't mind. Actually, I generally like explicitness in languages, and I don't mind having to type a few extra characters to get that. But there is also something slightly annoying about having to go into a file like this and mark literally every single thing as pub. So I just wonder if there could be a, I don't know. Parser. Where was I? Parser. Okay. Well, what does this cool little play button do? Haha. Okay. Ooh, does this thing have inlay hints? Inlay hints. Whoa. Wow. Okay, turn this off. I don't like this, usually. Alright, so now we expect ident. So up here in parse metadata, I'm gonna say like let ident equal parse ident. Not parse ident, but expect ident. And then this is actually called self. Oh, whoops. Whoops. Okay, so now here we get a, okay. And then this is actually going to return a result of metadata or an error. That then gives us the ability to just propagate the error up, which is like the coolest, best feature ever. And then we get a string. Wow. Hey, Saba. Whoops. Welcome. We are writing another parser for resolve, because of course resolve needs a parser. What are we working on? What was that sound? Wow. I do that all the time. It's kind of a habit I have. So, Saba, good question. What are we working on? If you were here when we discussed our simple diagram, then you'll remember then. If not, then okay, that's fine. But basically, I'm kind of like remaking gRPC / Protobuff. Just like a language, a simple little language. I've made this before. I'm just kind of like remaking it now. That like represents a route. You have like inputs and outputs and failure enums, and then you can like define little helper types, and then like generates little CLI, like a CLI that generates types on the front end and the back end. So you have like type safety across language boundaries. So then we could use it for like our Rust backend, our Swift front end. But then later on, if we go to like Kotlin for like Android or like TypeScript for the web or whatever we do, then we could just make new adapters and it's all cool. So that's the idea. I'm hoping it'll be pretty straightforward because there's nothing fancy about this. There's no expressions. There's no actual logic. It's just like types. So that's the thought. Why not just use Protobuff? I've never used Protobuff, and it's scary, and it sounds fun to write it myself. And there's no Swift support, but I'm sure there actually is. Protobuff Swift. Using Protobuff and Swift. Swift Protobuff. Yeah, I don't have a super good reason. I just like writing my own tools, and it sounds fun. And I have some stuff I want to like get out of it, like whole like failures enum thing. I feel like is nice, and I want to use this on my own simple syntax and to have it just be really simple, without having to like pull in any libraries. So, Protobuf is actually stupid simple, but sure, valid. Okay, cool. Glad you think it's valid, because I don't think it's horribly valid, but it'll be fun. It's fun. Part of me does want to experiment with Protobuff at some point, but I feel like this will be cool. It's really simple. It's nice. So expect ident. We're already here. Oh yeah, we did this. Okay, we got an ident out of this, and then it has to be this has to be name. Oh dear. Oh dear. If it's not name, hello, Simonzino Arthur Gamer. If it's not name, then we need to return some sort of error. I don't know what it would be. Error. We'll make another one called missing metadata. We need to go add that case. Missing metadata. One sec, I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. A language where everything is an enum. Are you referring to Lovely? What's the syntax of fen like? It is like this here on the right. Kai abandoned us. Yeah, sorry. Had to just got some homemade salad and quesadillas delivered by my mother. The name Resolve might cause confusion with a video editor of the same name. Yes, I am painfully aware of this, but I feel like there won't really be much confusion because they couldn't be like more different. Like they have nothing to do with each other, you know. Now, if I made another video editor and called it Resolve, that would be an issue. But I feel like as is, it'll be fine. All right, cool. Let us continue. Let us continue. Why do I have mismatched types right here? Oh, because I need to wrap this in there. All right, how's that? Cool. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to eat the salad very well while I'm typing. Rename it to habitual or something then. We could always rename it. I'm not married to the name. Actually, I am married to the name. I really like the name. And we've already used it like in 4 videos. Habitual. Habitual ritual. But it's not really for that. All right, where are we going next with this parser here? I'm trying to stall so I can get a forkful of salad in my mouth. Okay, so make sure it's name, and then now we need like a more generic expect token. So it'll be pretty similar, but kind of not. Expect token. Toke is a token, and then this won't return anything. Is this found like a separate project or is this under Resolve as well? Good question. This is separate because I'd like to be able to use this for other things as well. If other things ever arise, or maybe I'll just be working on Resolve for the rest of my life. But that's probably not very likely. So yeah, for now it's separate. Actually, for eternity it'll be separate. This is its own repo. You guys can use it too. It's open source. Token name. All right. So we're not really expecting this anymore. That's okay. Okay, wait. Let's token. Okay. There's that. We have a token. What do we do with this token? Okay. Do this, and then 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 do this. That. Oh dear. Oh dear. And then error wrong token. Expected. Got. What's going on here? Okay. Yeah, okay. Wrong token. Expected. Toke and got token. Oh, this is no good. Oh, this would be an unexpected end of file. This is the wrong thing. We need that over here. Okay, so unexpected EOF. Okay, return that. And then over here, if token equals expected token, then else error down. Very nice. Okay, so now we can expect tokens. So now I can just say make sure that's name and then expect token colon. We are cooking, TD. Correct. You are correct. What is in this salad? Now we have a name. That's why you can hear play it sounds exactly. Exactly. Okay. What is next? So we have a name. So that means we like parse like this whole chunk here. So then description are not mandatory. So this is where it gets a little complicated. Unless we didn't make descriptions mandatory. How about we just make descriptions mandatory for now and then yeah. Okay, so descriptions are mandatory. New rule. Just made it up. So we'll do this like 3 times. But it's a little bit different every time. So this is like name label. So, okay, these things have to be in this order, and you have to have all 3 of them. For now, if we want to make it more versatile later, I think we can, but it doesn't really seem like a big deal. So this is like name, and now we're on to description. Alright, name label. Descriptions are mandatory, exactly. This is description label. Doesn't expect ident. It needs to be description. You'll get a missing metadata error. See, if you don't have one. We put a colon, and then instead of ident, we'll want like a string literal. This is description. We're basically gonna copy pasta this. Expect string literal. And this will be string contents. What is with this token name? This should be like ident name. Alright, cool. So then we get we have a description now, we have a name. and then the whole like auth factor. So this will be like auth label should be auth. If it's not, then it's missing metadata. Make call and makes not a string literal, but like a bool literal, which is gonna be really similar. Very similar. Okay. Copy pasta. Expect bool literal. Not string anymore, but bool, which is on lowercase for some strange reason. And then string contents. Yes. Okay. Bool literal. Bool. The bool. Bool literal. Okay. And then contents. Very nice. Okay, so now we expected the bool literal. Yada yada. And then at this point we have enough information to return a metadata. So we can return okay, metadata, joink, name, description, and auth. And auth. Now, this needs to be that. This is supposed to be auth. And now everybody's happy. I don't like how... wow, okay, so this is no longer valid. More like that. Okay, no problem. Great. That's what I like to hear. So, all right, we got some chat action. What app is this, by the way, or what will it do? Something to help manage, keep track of personal resolutions. Yes, it's called resolves for like resolutions or commitments. Sounds cool. What if someone wants to write the descriptions first? Then that person is just gonna have to, not write the description first. For now. Alright. Might be nice at some point to allow different orders and or optional descriptions. Yes, exactly. That person would have to make a pull request. Maybe I'm too old. I still use checklists for that, not an app. Well, it's not a to-do list. It's not like a to-do thing. It's like for resolutions, which is kind of a different animal. And like especially with penalties is kind of like the core thing behind it, like penalizing failed resolutions. Mm-hmm. So now we have metadata. So I'm going to return a route. The meta is going to be meta. Not meat, but meta, IO, what do you mean mismatched types? IO input what is the input? None and none. Helper types Cool, cool. Mm-hmm. Okay. Voila, the tests are passing. Great idea, not inspired by the current situation at all, but may resolve can use the personal infos of the users to sell traffic and ultimately train AI. Brilliant. Thank you, William, for selling my Discord server. I mean, not selling, like shilling it, I guess is what I meant. Side project idea, AI tracker for resolve. Yes. Yeah, I'm already taking all your guys' YouTube chat and giving it to the algorithm. No, I'm just kidding. But YouTube probably is. Actually, YouTube almost certainly definitely is. No, Fen is already a side project for a side project for a side project for a side project, right? Here's the graph for the uninitiated. I was working at a company called Gertrude. Then, in order to supplement my learning for Gertrude, because I was doing mostly front-end stuff, which was like cool, but I wanted to like keep learning some like deeper stuff. So to keep learning, I added a side project to my real job, which was Humble. It's like, okay, here I'll do some system stuff on the side, so I'm doing front-end like at work, but then systems on the side, so like kind of like diversifying my learning. And then Humble needed a language, so then I was like, okay, well we're gonna make a language for this thing. Just turned out a lovely. Then I started spending like a ton of time on these things, and I like quit Gertrude. Okay. So I quit Gertrude. I was just working on Humble and Lovely, and those things obviously don't make any money. So then I was like, okay, I need a job to support my Lovely development, because I was mostly just working on Lovely at this point, because I couldn't work on Humble until I had Lovely. So I started a job. So that's where Resolve comes in to fund Lovely. And then now, in order to build Resolve, we're making a different language called Fen. This is the chain of Kai's side projects. How about that? When does the Fen side project come? This is Fen. Chaya says he needs a job. Oh, I also teach music lessons. This is like also part of this. I don't know where that comes in. Yeah, something like that. What's Fen? I missed something. Fen is this thing we're making, like the schema definition language that like generates types on the front end and the back end. Yeah, Fen is like our version of Protobuff. Do you guys know what a Fen is? Fen swamp. It's like a swamp. A fen is a type of peat accumulating wetland fed by mineral-rich ground or surface water. It's one of the main types of wetland, along with marshy swamps and bogs. Bogs and fens, both pea-forming ecosystems, are also known as mires. See, this is a fen. This is what we're making. Isn't it Bonnie? Isn't that Bonnie? Look at that. Just look at that. That's beautiful. Alright, anyway. How is the fen serialization going to get done? I think I'm just going to use JSON. Is that okay? Nom nom nom. How loud is my chewing? Can you guys hear that? That's so embarrassing. What's the code in Googling percent raise if you're a programmer? Well, if you're into like fens and stuff, it's pretty low. Okay. Where were we though? So we are successfully parsing metadata. So now we need to do some of these like IO labels. No? So I'm gonna, let's do it, yeah, okay. Yeah. We have one too many of these things. Okay. Oops. Oh dear, where am I? I'm lost. IO. Actually, let's just make one test. And that is like all the syntax. All syntax. Okay, so this is like a divider. Is this Rust? This is Rust. Yes. Grand, lovely Rust. So we'll have like an input. What is like a string? I don't know, start with something like that. Okay. Side project for fen called Bog or something, which is a serialization / compression engine. Ooh, not a bad idea. Except I think I'm just gonna use Surdy. Surdy JSON. If I had time, I would love to do something like that. But I need to try to launch this thing by December. Christmas, so. I can't get the right size amount of salad on my fork. This stream's all about how to eat salad while streaming. It's not the best food to do so with. Come on, keyboard, talk to me. You can try Facet instead of Surdy. What is Facet? The stream is about eating salad. Kai decided code on the side. Exactly. What do coders eat for breakfast? Me, personally? It really depends on the day. I really like eggs. Sometimes, actually often, when I'm lazy, I eat cereal. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, then there's like French toast or pancakes or all sorts of good things. Can you tell how American I am? Get result. Fair. Parse IO labels. Alright, how are we gonna do this? So these ones are all optional. So we need like a parse IO label, I suppose. All right, so I'm gonna make another one of these called like expect IO label because we actually have expect IO label returns a IO label, one of these guys. This is like a token IO label. Oh, these all have the wrong, man. Okay, expected ident, expected string literal, expected bool literal, expected IO label. That should cover the bases. Okay, this becomes string literal. This becomes bool literal. This becomes IO label. Alright, so now three grilled cheese sandwiches and tea. Nice, Sava. That sounds pretty good. Good news, people. I'm almost done with my salad here. And then there's quesadillas. All right. So I guess here's what I'll do. Okay, so no, the stream is about to end? What do you mean the stream is about to end? The stream is not about to end. You spreading rumors, William? Check this out, guys. This is our viewer count. Why does my browser keep... Dude, does this look like a nice browser shape to you guys? Look at our viewer count. We can't end. We're just like skyrocketing. Granted, that line is only 12. But in the grand scheme of things, facet can also reflect types in Java, Swift, and TypeScript. Wait, what is facet? Facet, what type safety? What do I even search? Facet. Reflection, serialization, deserialization, pretty printing, etc. The last proc macro you should need. Reflection, it gives types a shape, associated const, and details on the layout field, stock comments, attributes, etc. Many things from deserialization to pretty printing, rich debuggers, CLI parsing, reflection, and template engines, code generation. 2,000 stars. Extended cinematic universe. It's got a website. Whoa. I know, right? 2-digit numbers on a resolve string. This is crazy. Code generation. This is what I want. This is what I want. If you don't mind building your types, creates as a build dependency too. Then use reflection to generate Rust code and thus reach 30 level speeds. If you generate serialization. Nobody's done this yet? Will you be the first? I like the little polar bear that comes in and like gives. New keyboard acquired. What is it, Lane? Tell us all about the experience. There's already Swift support for code generation. Where? Low free flow light? What is that? Free flow light. Light 84. Is this you? Is this you? It's pretty slick looking. 84 or 100. What does that add? Just a keypad? I use see, what is it? Yeah, this thing. This is what I use, but black. This thing. Except I definitely don't have the RGB lights on. That's you. You are a keyboard. Cool. Too much money for a keyboard I don't know how to use. Yeah, it was pretty expensive. I was also having like a little bit of rust pain, although part of that was my mouse. I got like a vertical mouse too, but I don't know. It was pretty expensive, and also the learning curve was like huge. So I don't know that I'd recommend it to everybody. But it was. I'm super happy with it now. All right, wait. What is this? What is this? This facet thing looks like maybe really, really awesome. Maybe really, really awesome. These are all just on the same page. What is this facet? This is all just one page. Okay, I get it. There's just one page. I don't understand. Facet Swift. No, this is not right. What's Swift type? What in the world is Swift type? No, this is not Swift language. No. Does Swift type has anything to do with Swift, the language? I don't think it does. Dune, you were saying there's already Swift support for code generation? What? If I could save some work by using Something like this, I would love to. Java, Swift, and TypeScript. Hey, this thing is like actively developed too. What is this horrible creature down here? Oh, this is like a test with Insta. See ya, Saba. Thanks for stopping by. Um, Java, Swift, and I wonder why these were chosen. So once we get to what is this red badger thing? Crux? This is pretty cool, actually. Why have I never heard of this? Static type checking across languages, Swift, Kotlin, and TypeScript. Hmm. I want to look into that Crux thing. Cross-platform app development. Stick this in my up here. Maybe I should just be using this crux thing that they made. What's like their philosophy? Shared core for behavior. Crux help you share your app's business logic and behavior across mobile, iOS, and web. Single reusable core built with Rust. That's like what I'm doing anyway. Thin shell for UI. Crux recognizes that the best experiences are built with modern declarative frameworks such as SwiftUI, Jetpack Compose, React/Vue, or WebAssembly-based framework. Yeah. However, it aims to keep this UI layer as thin as it can be, with all the work done by the shared core. Type generation. The interface with the core has static type checking across languages. Types and serialization code are generated for Swift, Kotlin, and TypeScript. Rust shells can import the core directly. What are Rust shells? Managed effects. Side effects such as calling an API are captured as values and executed by the shell. The core stays side effect free, making it portable across platforms and allowing high-level user journey tests to run in milliseconds. See ya, TD. This just goes to the why are these like flashing and not showing the page? Why are none of these like showing anything? Hello? Oh, they use Xcode Gen, which is interesting. They use Xcode Gen, which I've thought about using actually in the past. Is the internet like slow or something? No. Here's Xcode Gen. I love this. If Xcode Gen doesn't meet your needs, try these great alternatives. Like literally showing the competition in the README, saying you should use these. Yeah, some Tuist especially of these others ones also looks really good. But if Crux is using, I'm really intrigued by this whole Crux thing. I'm not intrigued by how these pages aren't loading. Elm architecture? Heavily inspired by Elm? No way. That's like makes it even cooler. This might be really cool. Type gen. Oh, this is like a proposal. Introductory talk. How long is this? Hold on, I gotta turn these on. This is a reading stream and a watching stream again, yeah. Sorry, the purpose of these is to get work done, not necessarily to always entertain, so.
I'm really excited about this talk in particular. That's why I ran from the main stage.
Oh, he's British.
This talk. Stu is a long-standing member of the Rust London community. His company, Red Badger, have been responsible for slipping in Rust into Nando's. So if you've ever used the Nando's loyalty scheme and their back end, right in the back end, is special.
Thank you.
Red Badger.
Thank you, Ernest, for bigging us up a bit too much there. I'm really excited to be here and terrified in equal measure.
He's a React stream right now. This just looks super compelling.
As you can imagine. So I'm going to try. There's a lot to get through. It's really exciting content. Hopefully you'll find it exciting. I do. But there's a lot to get through, and I'm going to be speaking quite quickly. Might trip over myself a couple of times, but hey, we've got some live demos as well, which is great. I wanted to change the title completely, but then I thought you might think you were in the wrong room and go somewhere else. So I want to call the talk Headless Apps, really, and hopefully we'll see why during the course of the talk I want to call it that, because the rest of it's a bit boring, probably. But the content of the talk is exactly the same. So let's dive in. What are we going to talk about today? What do we mean by headless apps? What does the landscape look like today for building mobile apps and web apps?
Okay, I'm probably gonna watch this whole thing. What do you guys want me to do? I can end the stream here. And then just watch and research, because I want to look into some of this stuff before I go and write this whole Fen thing. I kind of want to look into some of this stuff and see if it's compelling, or see if, because if somebody's already like thought really hard about this and like made good solutions, then I might as well use what they're doing if it's good. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, do you guys want me to? I'll probably just stop the stream here then and just do some research because I don't need to do all my research on stream. And then I'll come back maybe later today or tomorrow with kind of what I've landed on, and we can kind of talk about that and go from there. Did I just create a side quest? Yes, Dune, you totally just created a side quest, 100%. But I hopefully it'll turn out to be a good side quest because I was about to embark on writing my own language just to share types when it sounds like this lovely gentleman has already thought about this a lot. So, more Kaya reaction video, please. I mean, if you guys want to watch it with me, I guess that's fine. I just don't see why you would when we can all just watch it separately. So I think I'm gonna stop the stream here. And yeah, I promise I won't do any programming without you guys. So just gonna watch some videos and do some reading and stuff. Guys, particularly susceptible, yes, to side quests. Tell me about it. You can react and explain some topics, I guess. Well, I just don't think that'd be worth your time. And yeah. So I'll do this on my own for a little while here, and then be back with, I'll tell you guys what I learned, and we'll be back. Because I'll probably just hopping back and forth between a bunch of different videos and stuff. So until then, see you guys. I'll end the stream here.